Greetings, true believers. Tiki here,
And BlueDragonFive.
and tonight we're here to comb through a box of old files we've liberated from a fallen shield base. An event we're tackling in 8 installments. So join us as we dust off these SSR files on the shield agent before there was even a shield, as we begin addressing Agent Carter. Now, let's begin with an audio tape.
And now it's time for the Agent Carter Adventure Program, brought to you by Roxxon Motor Oil. Tonight's thrilling tale follows our heroine, Peggy Carter, going on with her life after the loss of her shield-wielding beau, Captain America. She finds herself falling back into the old wartime action when industrialist Howard Stark finds himself framed for a dangerous weapons deal. Can this file jockey by day save Stark and the nation? Before the day's done, stay tuned and find out.
Yes, alright. Alright, how you doing tonight, Blue Dragon 5?
Looking forward to assessing Agent Carter.
Indeed. You gonna do that? You gonna do that 1950s voice the whole night?
No, but I love the heck out of it. We'll get into that in our next episode, but right now we're basking in the wonderfulness of this episode.
Yeah, just really quickly, this is a show that we've known about for quite a while. It kind of flew under the radar for me, though. I wasn't really, I knew it was coming, I just didn't really have that much high expectation for it, really, mostly because of that other Marvel show that's on right now that you like, but I can't watch.
Well, let's just quickly address. So, Agents of Shield's kind of a polarizing show for some. People. The main complaint that still to this day still remains that it needs more heroes, and well, who can argue with that? Because we love heroes, the Marvel heroes especially. So, point is, it usually kind of buries the lead, takes a while till after the break to spice things up, and the same seems to be true. Just going a little slower this season, even. But
why am I not surprised?
Ultimately, just take my word for it as a guy who likes the show. Usually, it all ties up really nicely in the end. So when this is the show to buy on DVD most assuredly. I can tell you.
I keep waiting for it to come to DVD for my video store to get it, but they're not getting it. And
they take their time.
Yes, believe it or not, I actually have a video store that I still go and rent physical DVDs. I know it's like a weird concept, right? That I actually still do that kind of stuff. But it's how me and my dad watch a lot of our TV shows and movies and stuff, and so I wouldn't want to watch the show alone. I'd want to watch it with my dad, and the only way we do that is with DVDs, and I'm not going to buy the thing on DVD, so yeah, I'll leave it at that.
So, if I may, just a quick origin of the series. It's not a lot, just real quick.
Yeah, by all means.
This show actually it spawned from one of the great Marvel shorts. Now Marvel had produced a number of shorts. They're called Marvel one shots. These little they have the actors like mainly it's really a Shield centric usually. Like usually Agent Coulson was in the first two. Then after he was gone, they had Sitwell, who we know what happened to Sitwell in the end of things. He was in a short that tied into the Avengers. Then Agent Carter got one. And it was really great. It was so great, because they got Haley Atwell back. Got some of our old familiar faces from First Avenger, kind of our 40s Marvel verse.
Definitely.
They brought them in, and point is, it went over so well. The heads at Marvel, and particularly Marvel Television, after they got the Agents of Shield show running, they figured, we're getting some success with this, and people love Agent Carter, and this short film was great. Can we adapt it? Can we turn this into something? Maybe not a full series. What a mini-series? Just kind of let's lay out a full narrative here, a story. There's kind of like an ultimate send-off. Not even a send-off. Let's lay out a tale about one of our favorite 40s Marvel characters. Someone who had a really influential impact on them, Peggy Carter.
Sure. And it's interesting because I really feel like the mini-series is kind of taking on like a renaissance. You haven't watched it yet, you really need to, but Over the Garden Wall is one of the best pieces of animation to come along in a long time in any medium, in my opinion. Let's see, we've got, it's not really a mini-series, but HBO's True Detective is kind of like, every season has an entirely different cast. stuff like that. So it really is kind of like in the mainstream media, people are really kind of latching onto this. It doesn't necessarily have to be a TV series, but we can kind of tell these more broad stories and kind of not have the limits of a 2-hour movie attached to it.
Oh, yeah. And let me lay out the behind the scenes of this little thing we're doing here. So as you can probably tell, Tiki not too crazy about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I bring up the idea because Agent Carter, awesome idea. I think it's going to be a mini-series. So, I mean, there's more time to fit into our already overbooked show budget here, if you will.
Oh yeah, man. We are literally we did 2 episodes of How to Train Your Dragon.
We will get back to that, by the way. It's just gonna once things die down in the current shows we got going on here, we'll hit How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, good luck, man. We got Bates Motel, Better Call Saul coming up. I don't think things are gonna die down.
No. We'll have time. Don't worry.
All right.
But the point is, so Tiki's a little on the fence about it. And I basically said, okay, I'm sure I'm going to watch it. I mean, come on, it ties into Captain America. How can I not watch it? And so he watches it, and he says he'll get back to me whether we're going to do the show or not. Well, we have time, because I understand, we have a lot of stuff going on. So I watched the show. I'm kind of hoping he's going to say yes to it. Anyway, so I just casually, I'm going around one day, I see a little message for me. And it says, I have literally just watched 10 minutes of the show, and I'm already hooked on it. We have to talk about it.
As soon as Jarvis showed up, I was hooked. As soon as they introduced Jarvis, I was like, done. As soon as Howard Stark comes out of the car, yeah, I know I should have called first. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in it for the long haul. I can talk about 8 episodes of this.
I'll admit, I had to kind of dip the toe in there, because at first I just needed to sell me a little, but then after the first 3 minutes, I was hooked.
Right.
After the beginning was a little bumpy, but then it worked perfectly fine.
I still have a few issues with it, but to tell you the truth, they're kind of it's kind of, I feel, just my stupidity more than anything else, and that I have a hard time at keeping track of the different agents on this show. Let's see, I know there's Thompson, I know Thompson, and I know Sousa. Yeah. I have absolutely no idea who anyone else is.
Okay, there's only 2 more. Okay, so there's Dooley's the boss. He's the boss. He's always kind of barking the orders. He's just the one who knows the most things in the office, pretty much. He's the boss man.
Okay.
And then the other one, he's kind of the fun name, the dumb one, the dumb sexist one. His name's it's Krasinski, pretty much. It might have a different spin on the pronunciation, but essentially it's Krasinski.
Actually, yeah, I do have that written down. Okay, it's just in my notes. It's really annoying to take notes on characters that you don't know the names of yet, because you're just like, okay, so the boss is doing this, lawyer is doing that.
So basically, it's Thompson, Krasinski, Dooley, and Sousa. Just Sousa's name I took a while for me to learn how to pronounce, but it's Sousa.
Yeah. Okay.
It's spelled Sosa, but it's Sousa.
Right.
Anyway, so real quick, I have a theory as to why this show's so good. It's not much of a theory as it is fact. The people behind this show, also the ones who developed this show, were the writers. Apparently, big staples in the Marvel universe. McFreely and I forget the other guys. The point is, the writing team that has produced all the Captain America movies, including the one coming out, Civil War,
Oh, I just said I can't wait for Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War. Also, they worked on Thor: The Dark World. Then they adapted this show. So these guys have been working with Cap big time. So of course they're going to be experts on it. So they wrote the pilot and developed the overall series.
Okay.
And also we got a lot of Cap talent coming our way still on this show. And the directors of the Russo brothers from Winter Soldier, they did our second installment. We're going to tackle soon.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, they directed them. So they got good directors and writers, and I have some surprises for you when we get to speculation. Don't you worry. Next time.
All right. So with that in mind, we have kind of a limited time available tonight. So let's dive right in.
Let's dive right into it. So how do we start this thing, Tiki?
Well, we start appropriately enough. We start with kind of a flashback to Captain America, the first Avenger. And I think this show very much does a good job of weaving in the flashbacks. To tell you the truth, maybe I'd like to see a little bit of stuff that that we haven't seen in the movies yet. I don't know. I don't know how you could do. I don't know how first of all, I don't know how much stuff that we haven't seen in the movies that Peggy Carter and Captain America actually did together. I don't know how you'd work Chris Evans into it. But I'd like to see some stuff that we haven't seen. But anyways, we have...
Let me say something real quick about this. This is one of my potential gripes for the thing. Again, very minimal gripes. This is the reason it was a little bumpy for me getting into it. Because first of all, again, the big thing kind of sparked the series was that Marvel one-shot. Now, this is exactly how the Marvel one-shot opened, by the way.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, using the same Cap footage. So, I mean, they like basically in Peggy Carter, she's remembering Steve saying goodbye to her. Which, I mean, I can't really... I'll give them a pass because I mean, they're starting a series, and how can you not start for that moment?
Sure. Really good transition, though.
Because here's the only potential continuity problem I'm going to lay out for you right now for the whole series. Now, I say it matches up, and I'm working my way around it here. So, in the Marvel one-shot, the layout is that... So you know the ultimate end to this series if they do follow it.
No, I don't.
Well, I'm going to let you know. I'm telling you. So,
okay.
Essentially, the 15-minute one-shot with Peggy Carter is she works for the SSR, and it's pretty much the same situation we got going on here. Only after all the boys leave for she has a higher-up boss than this guy.
Okay.
Apparently, so some other boss he leaves the back room with the phone. They all leave for the night, grab a beer. They leave her there because they're mistreating her. She answers the phone and she takes on a special mission, takes down another a secret organization, she takes on a mission pretty much. And I'm assuming this whole thing is towards the end of our eventual series here, because then Howard Stark gives her a call and says, "Hey, listen, basically makes her the first SHIELD agent."
Gotcha. Kind of maybe even echo the famous Nick Fury line, "We're putting a team together."
Pretty much. So essentially, that's how the eventual end. If everything matches up, that's the eventual end. People are worrying that she's an SSR member, so Howard's going through all this stuff right now. So I'm thinking just the end result would be the short film would have come after.
Okay, that makes sense.
You still got kind of similar beats of this opening we got here, but I'll give them a pass because it's a pilot after all. So give them a few pilots.
Yeah, and to be fair, I mean, just from a story perspective, this is definitely a moment in her life that would flash in her head over and over and over again. She wouldn't just be reminiscing about this moment the one particular time.
Exactly. So that was with this opening sequence you got here. So we see Peg prepping for the day here. It's a really nice sequence. It's so you get some wartime flashes of her doing cool stuff, and you actually see a few shots from that short film too, of her firing a machine gun, knocking guys.
Cool, right.
Her knocking guys through windows. That's from the one shot.
Okay.
And pretty much you get some wartime flashes, really nicely integrated sequence. One issue though is the music too modern.
Oh, I'd have to go back and rewatch, but it didn't strike me. It didn't bother me.
Yeah, because I'm fine with it because it's really catchy and I like it. But I'm just saying,
to tell you the truth, that's actually kind of one of the big strengths with the show for me in general, is that I feel like the music, on a very broad level, is very true to the period.
It's this song that came out called That Man. I like the song so much I looked it up. So it's a modern song, but it feels so 40s. I love it. That's the reason why. And I say it fits Peggy Carter. It's a good intro. So I'm saying if anyone is because pretty much this show is great on staying true to the 40s era.
Oh, absolutely.
This would be kind of the only I believe the term's anachronistic.
Sure.
Inaccurate, inaccurate thing to the time period that the show's got for it. So I mean, I'll give them a pass. It was really catchy. It was a fun way to see her getting ready for the day, the mundane and the fantastic. Of course, we love that. I love that stuff. Let's see. So again, we see her former war life compared to now, where she's watering plants and but they're getting ready to go out for a day job.
Oh yeah.
Also, we got some good plot delivered in this scene. She's looking at the newspaper. We see Howard Stark's under some litigation.
Yeah, nice foreshadowing there.
Really nicely done.
Now did you talk about the transition with the tea kettle?
I remember the tea. Remind me what her transition was. I know something.
Okay, it's I think it's the Cap's plane is coming down. The air carrier is on. It's coming down and I think you kind of hear just the engine, and then the engine transitions to the tea kettle, and then that's where Peggy kind of snaps back into the reality. I thought that was really well done.
Really good. I mean, it's a nicely way to integrate like the thoughts to like what the montage to what's actually really nice with. Then we meet her roommate Colleen.
This character, can I just spoil her fate right off the bat? Because all of my opinions about this character are based on the way she ends up, so let me just do it, okay?
Well, she has tuberculosis after all.
Yeah, but it's like this is like the Uncle Ben character.
Okay, yeah, pretty much. So
it's the prototypical Marvel Uncle Ben character, but I did not expect it.
Yeah, neither did I. That was a bit. I think that was a huge strength to this pilot, this first episode, this first of our 8-part series here. It's not a pilot because we knew it was coming. I mean, we knew that there's going to be more episodes. That's why it's not.
Because, like, every freaking Marvel movie starts with this. Even the damn good ones, like Guardians. It's like every Marvel movie starts with some sort of... Usually it's a father figure getting killed off. But here it's...
mom.
Yeah, right.
To be fair, again, they just... you and I, we just... In the mass consensus...
Dad...
All right, we got it. Parental figures down. We got it. So it was so great that it just came out of nowhere when it happened, and it eventually happens. And
especially because it's like you're thinking, like, okay, maybe she's gonna die because you know.
And she's joking. She's joking about tuberculosis, but it really makes me wonder: does she actually have tuberculosis?
Right, yeah.
Because that would be a dark joke. Cause she's coughing, and tuberculosis is an actual thing. So I wonder if it's actually a dark joke she's making, like, oh, actually, I do have tuberculosis. Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, so Collins, when she was among the land of the living, she was a nice character. I love the idea of Peggy Carter as a roommate. She's kind of been rebranding her life. She's a new ID after new identity after the war. Well, same name, but she has a cover and she works for the phone company.
The phone company, yeah.
It's really kind of get smartish, and I love that about it.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
You can't go wrong when you're doing a spy show, and it'd be great if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They've been taking. They've had homages to this, but they could have more of it like this show does it to get smarter, like your classic spy type stuff.
Okay, so and then
she wants her to go out in the world, explore, date, kind of closed off person. Yeah, come on, Peggy, explore a little, would you?
And she's like, well, you still owe me a movie, right? And then Peggy's like, well, yeah, but they keep me busy at the office. They keep you that busy at a phone company?
Well, she says, like, things can't be, be careful. It'd be more dangerous than you can imagine. She puts, like, a gun in her purse.
I thought that was a little on the nose, but whatever, it's fine.
Technically, I don't think she'd have a gun, but, go figure.
Yeah.
It's probably her old service piece from the war, I guess. She had that cool little gun, too, in the movies, so I assume so.
Very true.
Meanwhile, where are we going next?
Well, after we get our nice Agent Carter title, we have one of my favorite scenes in these 2 episodes.
She puts on a hat.
And, my God, this is so well shot. Like, this scene is as well shot as anything from any of the cinematic universe.
It's a beautiful-looking shot of her walking, right?
Yeah, it's like you've got all these guys in like very, very kind of earthly colored jackets, browns and grays and stuff, and then you've got the hat, the red and the blue, and it's so striking. It reminds me of Paul Thomas Anderson or something like that, just the use of color.
Well, you know what I love about it, too? It has a few layers to it, also. First of all, it's like just this red, white, and blue in a sea of gray. And that's
exactly, yeah.
It signals 2 things. One, it signals that she's still kind of living in the influence of Steve in Captain America. She's red, white, and blue. And 2, it's like maybe she's still clinging on to that old patriotism in this world. It's still kind of trying to move on a little from that. And basically, the sea of gray where she's going to be in a mortally gray world right now.
Okay, I could, yeah,
so
that's all very done.
So, I mean, like, the colors in this kind of this morally gray world. And plus, she looks great, too. The colors look great on her, too.
Yeah.
I love her outfits. I keep saying this for a bunch of our shows. Yeah, I love it. I'm sorry.
That's kind of funnier things.
Norma, Regina, and now Peggy Carter. They all got really nice outfits. I'm sorry. They do. Norma wins, though. Norma wins.
Why don't you just start a fashion podcast?
Oh, no. I'm just saying, you don't get that like someone really eloquent outfits there. But, Norma wins the contest hands down. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, no question.
But Peggy looks beautiful in her stuff, though. It looks great.
Okay, so she walks into the phone company, and then we get, like you said, kind of a very Get Smart style sort of.
We see the Strategic Scientific Reserve, or the SSR for short.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is the precursor of the Shield. It's the same organization, just it started as this.
No, yeah, that's what I figured. Sure. Okay, so then we get let's see. And is this where we get the Stark newsreel right here?
Yeah, she walks in there, and we see she's not respected. They treat her like a secretary instead of an actual agent. As they bring the coffee, and then the mind the phones is transfer all the phones to the briefing room because she wants to hear what's going on.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Then we get one of my favorite scenes in this first episode. We get the Howard Stark newsreel. I love this part.
Now, of course, you and I are both like huge fans of the propaganda storyline.
Oh yes, I love the That's my favorite scene in that whole movie. That propaganda.
I've always made a point to say that if the first Captain America movie would have just focused on his propaganda career, I would have been absolutely satisfied with that as a movie. In fact, I argue it might even have made a better movie, but I digress.
I'm gonna go off on my love of the propaganda stuff next episode, but this is great.
Oh yeah, certainly.
But still, just again, an homage to the stuff with Howard Stark here in the newsreel. So we see, Howard Stark, ladies' man. Then we see what's going on with the news. He's being grilled by Congress about some mysterious weapons deals that have been going on. He's accused of selling really dangerous weapons. When he reports that they've he can't confirm or deny because he says, "Well, would you unknowingly sell these weapons?" Well, I wouldn't be able to answer that now, would I?
Well, I believe by scientific definition that answer would be impossible.
Exactly. So of course, it harkens back to Iron Man 2 when Tony's being grilled by the.
Yeah, exactly.
Really brilliant way of doing that too. By the way, I love that. You're giving some smart aleck answers to Congress. Really funny.
Oh yeah, I love Howard Stark. I can't wait to see the other version of Howard Stark in Ant-Man because that's the one that really reminded me of Walt Disney.
Yes. I love that they have the progression of Howard Starks, and I love them pushing that idea. And still keeping true, because at first we just thought this guy's going to take over for John Slattery, but now it's a cool idea to keep them all in there.
Yeah, definitely, exactly. Okay, so Krasinski, what does Krasinski say that?
So basically, the SSR, they suspect Stark's disappearance because the newsreel also mentions he's kind of disappeared recently, I guess. And basically, 6 black market deals have gone down with these weapons. The dangerous weapons have been sold that are Stark inventions, and they want to find him bad. Mm-hmm. And so during this, I know what Krasinski says. I'm just building to it. Yeah,
no, I'm sorry.
They insult. Pretty much, Peggy Carter says, "Well, look, I worked with Howard Stark in the war. He's not behind this. You guys were chasing him."
And the boss is just instantly why am I not surprised?
And then Dooley says, again, I like the actor who plays Dooley too, by the way. I mean, he has a good presence about him, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Again, like I said, I was kind of a little bit distracted by not knowing his name, so every time I popped up, I was a little bit frustrated.
Well, it's usually they call him Chief anyway, so it's like Chief or Dooley. Right. Anyways, the point is
he's good.
Anyways, he says he has kind of a real swarm. He doesn't intend you get a sense this guy he wants to. He doesn't care about being politically correct to the women of the office or anything. He wants to try to have the front of respectability. So he says, "We know you were Captain America's liaison." It's a blanket insult of saying you were his girlfriend or his bunker buddy.
Mm-hmm.
The point is saying quote unquote liaison. You see the reaction on Peggy Carter's face, oh. Then Krasinski says, after they dismiss her, Krasinski has a really douchey line. He says, "Oh yeah, I heard you got to know a lot of guys in the war."
Oh, come on, man. Oh, geez, that is just out of line.
And again, the big kind of selling point of this show is that they're really not pulling their punches. They're the feminism, the sexism of this.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I was watching this with my dad, and he was really impressed by that, yeah.
Especially what they did at the end. The ending was awesome, but we'll get to that.
Sure.
Point is, really, really good. They're not pulling their punches with the seriousness of this stuff. And then one of my favorite characters in the show, Sousa, he proverbially stands up for her. Because Sousa, well, apparently he was also in the war also, and he lost a limb during that.
Yeah, yeah.
And apparently he knew Peggy Carter. He knows that she's awesome. She worked with Captain America. She did a lot of good for the place. And pretty much he stands up for saying, hey, you should apologize. Unfortunately, no luck, since he just says, you don't have a leg to stand on, do you? Ha ha ha.
What a jerk.
Yeah, what a jerk. And then Peggy says, listen, the Agent Sue says, oh, you don't have to thank me. I'm not thanking you. I can deal with these morons. Okay, just don't. It's. I wish you hadn't stood up for right there. They're going to be targeting you now. Don't do that. It says, well, look, they treat you like a secretary when you're more competent. You know more than any of these guys in this room. Oh, thank you, but it's.
And then I literally just have Agent Thompson and then in parentheses Dick. So what does he do that makes him a dick in my eyes?
Oh no, he just to be honest with you, I just wrote his name.
I find my note taking very funny sometimes.
Well, I kind of wrote the similar thing as his name, so I wouldn't forget it. He pretty much just says something condescending, I remember. I think he says basically, get doing secretarial stuff, get typing or whatever. I need you to go through these. I need you to go through these files. You can do that, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Something like that.
Exactly. Yeah,
and then Sousa says, I hope that guy must have lost his personality in the war or something.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, so next we have our waitress character. Who is this? Angie, right?
Yeah, we're Angie, the waitress at the LL Automat. Do you know what Automat is?
No, I don't.
I assume, and I got to look into this because it sounds really cool. Just the place itself looks really cool. I think it's it's a diner next to like a mechanic, an auto mechanic.
Oh, okay, I see. So have a little.
I could be wrong.
While you wait for your car to get fixed.
I don't know. I'm probably wrong in that because Automat makes me think that just the name, but no, it's something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but anyway, the point is, Angie, which one of my favorite characters in the show. I love Angie. I'm more of I love the kind of your secretaries and then your simple sporting characters. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, so Angie, I love Angie. Just the instant banter, essentially. And then I'm gonna say this: Angie's kind of like your Jim Gordon.
What? Well, you're gonna have to explain that one.
I'm okay. I guess
that is a stretch. That is more of a stretch than
let me finish.
Frickin' Robin Hood being the Gordon.
First of all, that was you, okay?
I know.
Let me finish. I should say, she and not just her. She and Sousa serve kind of the Jim Gordon role, but mostly Jarvis. Jarvis is more of an Alfred, obviously, but
Well, Sousa, I could definitely agree with.
I'm saying it's a combined Gordon type.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean. I see because it's they're kind of both influencing her in different ways. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess more. I want to say not exactly a Bullock, but more of a Leslie Tompkins, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Point is a really good character, really good supporting character. A perfect comparison would be like Sandy Brandberg from Deadpool. We don't get that reference anyway.
I should watch that show. I've been told by many people to watch that show.
That's not a show, Tiki. That's a comic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Deadwood. Jesus Christ. I'm really on top of it tonight, aren't I?
Anyway, so I love the little banter they have going on. You get a sense that they know each other. They
I really like how she calls Peggy English.
I love that. And no, she notices Peggy looking at a Captain America newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And a newspaper saying Captain America's wartime pal Howard Stark under litigation, pretty much.
Right.
And pretty much she says, I met him once at I saw him once at a USO show. He's really nice. Says, oh yeah. It's the idea that Peggy Carter, she's dated Captain America and she can't tell anyone. So sad.
Exactly.
The man she loved. Yeah. It's so the tragedy of Peggy Carter is because she's a spy, she has to keep these secrets. And one of the secrets is she dated the most wonderful man ever, and she loved this guy, and she can't tell people. She's got to live in silence on this matter.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. So she Angie, she's kind of trying to perk up Peggy, kind of telling her about an audition, right?
Yeah, Peggy feels that she served her. She's talking about her gripes of the day, pretty much saying, I feel like I've served all the purpose I had was served in the war. Now it's gone. I'm being underutilized with all this potential, and she relates it to. Angie relates it to a part she was passed up for, and basically the advice she gives is, it takes a while to be for your talent to be recognized. You know, just give it some time.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know, soon our day will come. You know, we're good. We're good at what we do, and soon we'll be noticed.
And then the show continues with its sexism, where the jerky,
POW.
yeah,
The jerky POW guy.
He makes some sort of crack about a BLT.
Well, I don't remember what he said. He said he wrote as like jerk at the diner whines about something.
I just literally wrote BLT scolding, so
yeah. He insults her too, like saying she's an idiot, doesn't know how to make a BLT, and then says, commenting. Says, actually, Angie has a really good line. She says, Peggy says, what is he, a regular? She says, regular what? I can't say on the clock.
Yeah.
A regular what? I can't say on the clock. That's really funny.
Okay, so Peggy, she gets up from her seat to grab a piece of pie.
I love that too, but I love the little 40s touch. It's like, yeah, you go the little thing, you pick pie, and you
right.
Yeah, exactly. That was the honor system.
Oh God.
All right, so she gets a message on her table.
Yeah.
Meet her in the alley.
Yeah, and this was a very good scene because it's like, of course, I was thinking it was going to be Howard. I knew Jarvis was going to be in the show. But I got to admit, when Jarvis first showed up, I was like, okay, I think that's Jarvis, but I don't know. He's a little intimidating. Like, is it just that Jarvis and Howard just have no idea how to approach situations like this?
Well, funny thing. Okay, so originally I had a really out there theory. I thought that Howard Stark might have been like the guy complaining about I thought it might be like him in disguise. For a moment.
Oh God!
It's elaborate, I know. I thought that for a second, because for a moment he kind of sounded a little bit like Howard Stark, because I know, like I saw the paper, you know, like the meet me in the alley, and then I hear him complaining about something, I believe, and then I'm thinking, wait a second, it's like she's gonna walk over there and it's gonna be Howard Stark in disguise or something. No, it's not. But then I thought it could be Howard Stark. But then I see this guy. I didn't expect it to be Jarvis. I forgot what the actor looked like playing Jarvis because he was shrouded too. Remember, he was shrouded in like a hat and stuff. And I thought,
he was. Yeah.
So I was thinking, oh my God, it's Hydra. Set up, Peggy. Don't go out there. Don't go out there.
But I mean, I love how they essentially make Jarvis initially being threatening into just he has awkward social skills.
Yes. Well, the idea is it wasn't a thought out plan on Howard's part. Just
exactly. Yeah.
The two of them. So yeah, to be fair, Jarvis, we love Jarvis to pieces, but unfortunately he didn't really think it through. Just saying, "Oh, hello there. You're going to come with us," without introducing yourself or saying who you work for, or any of that.
As the Joker would say, very poor choice of words.
Oh yeah. So. So then, pretty much, a little chase ensues. You know, she punches.
Why does Howard just instantly come like?
Yeah, poor planning on their part. Just like so, Howard. So again, I guess she just saw Peggy punch. I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna explain everything, but I'm just gonna barrel down toward her to make sure she doesn't escape or something. Again, not good planning. It's a little hiccup in the first episode here, so we'll give it some pass.
I don't mind it because I just think I find the comedy in Howard and Jarvis just not knowing how to go about this.
Well, remember Howard Stark, based on kind of Howard Hughes of being eccentric, maybe that's like
sure, exactly, yeah.
The social interaction, like maybe
right.
Again,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I guess the thing is Howard's more adept at building the spy stuff, less than being a spy himself, so he doesn't really have a handle on it. I guess is the angle, which is kind of a neat idea.
So
he builds the stuff. He hasn't implemented well.
Exactly. It's kind of like Mark Zuckerberg in the Social Network. You know, it's like he made the world's biggest social network, but he's a socially awkward freak himself. But
so basically, they have a little chase scene. You know, she shoots out the tires before the car barrels down upon her. Again, not good playing on Howard's part. But then Howard says, "Surprise!" You know, it's a little Howard Star surprise.
All right, I should have called.
Yep. Okay, so then we get some exposition. Next scene.
So yeah, Howard, he's explaining. I love this. He's explaining his bad babies.
Oh, I love that term.
Yeah. So explain what bad babies are.
So Howard basically says he's being set up. You know, someone cut into the safe from the basement, like the basement of my safe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, in the basement, I got like this. I guess the safe's a huge. I assume the whole basement is a safe, to be honest with you.
I was kind of picturing something like Iron Man 3, where he's got all those suits down there. You know,
Yeah, something kind of like that.
Yeah, right.
The point is they cut into the basement and they cut into the safe and they stole at least 6. We're assuming they stole a bunch of my weapons, at least 6, and they've been selling them on the black market. My bad babies. Bad babies essentially are the things too dangerous to fall into the hands of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because she asks, like, why would you invent these? And, like, why wouldn't you destroy these things? And this is a cool and very important line with Avengers 2 coming out. So listen to me here. He says, I can't help what I think up, but I can control what I sell. But I control what I sell until today, pretty much.
I mean, I think there's a little bit of a gap in logic. It's like, yeah, you can't help what you think up, but maybe not make it so that people could get a hold of it in the first place.
Well, here's the important thing. The reason they should, I'm glad they kept it in there, Tiki.
Okay.
It parallels what we're going to experience in Avengers 2, so they're starting to build a narrative to Avengers 2 right now.
No, absolutely. I see what you're saying in that regard. Yeah. I still question the logic behind it, though.
Well, I think the logic is Howard Stark has such an ego, again, being eccentric as he is. He thinks, okay, well, I can invent these ones, I'll perfect them later. He puts them down there. He can't obviously.
Okay, so I see the logic of he intends to perfect them. He intends to make them safe. Okay, I got it.
Well, he puts them down. He controls what he sells. He knows he's not going to sell these until they're safe, if not.
Because to me, there's kind of a lap in judgment, and just like Howard, just like, hey, I have this idea for something that's really dangerous. You know, like I'm going to invent it.
Yeah, I assume he planned on repurposing it. Mind you, it's an assumption, but still, I love the idea that it's kind of parallel what we're going to have Tony do with Ultron. I love that idea. Mm-hmm. And again, given an old Avengers Age of Ultron, we're going to have a flashback to the 40s. I think this series is going to build itself into that. We'll get into that speculation.
Sure.
Anyway, so pretty much Howard, Peggy Carter, I love how Peggy's addressing the obvious here, saying, well, why don't you just tell Congress the truth here like you're telling me right now? He says, well, look, there's too much evidence against me there's too much evidence against me right now. It would look like this is all convenient planned by me. Like I planned for the stuff to be stolen. This is my cover.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, there's too much evidence for him to go to them and surrender, because otherwise he'd just say, okay, he's so smart. He's planned this all out.
Mm-hmm.
So he needs some inside help.
Really, really good elements that I like. Peggy, she's of course initially skeptical of him. Howard picks up on that, and he's like, really? And Peggy's like, well, I'm just considering all the angles. And then Howard's just instantly like, now that's the Peggy Carter that I need.
Oh, yeah. Howard calls her out and like, you're being underutilized there. This is a mission that matters. Don't you want to be part of this? This is, look, hey, I'm coming to you as a friend, pretty much. Says, look, I need your help. Come on.
Right.
Then she does. And also, it basically says, okay, here's the first bad baby you really got to go after. This is a really important one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a piece of paper, but it's a special piece of paper because on it is a formula for something called molecular nitramine. And essentially, he grasps your hand and says, "Okay, this essentially 2 handfuls of this will blow up, a handful of this will blow up an avenue."
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
Dangerous stuff. In the meantime, I gotta. Howard, as he's talking to her, he's heading to the docks and he's heading on a boat, saying, "I'm going overseas to find some more, stop more of these bad babies from being sold."
Mm-hmm.
So, presumably, track down some of the other 6.
Yeah, he briefly mentions, well, my butler Jarvis, he's going to be there for you if you need him.
Mm-hmm. Edwin Jarvis, yeah.
Oh yes.
And also, he mentions there are 12 fences. There are 12 fences are most likely going to be the culprits, and I'm sure you're going to find the right one. Because he references the whole Captain America love story.
Mm-hmm.
The whole it's about finding the right dance bar. And says, it's I know you, Peggy Carter. I know it's you're not going to have any trouble finding the right man. Just find finding men. Says it's going to be find the right one. I'm butchering delivery on that, but it's finding.
And then she says something in response, and he just drives off. He's just okay, see you. Hey, thanks, bye. He doesn't even say that. He's just
she says, nice to see you too, Howard.
Yeah.
So now she has purpose. Yay! And then she kind of grills Jarvis, saying, introduce yourself next time, would you? Says, oh, I'll remember that one. I'm nursing my concussion. So Jarvis, as we kind of said, he's awesome in this show, and we love Jarvis. He's yet another great Butler character. And the live form of Jarvis, Now, Tiki, you do know Jarvis was an actual person in the comics.
Of course. Yeah, of course. He was never really an AI until they did it in the movie, right?
Yeah, like until like late '90s. Then kind of, from what I hear, the late
he was
90s,
in the comic. He was an AI in the comics before the movie. Okay.
It's a little more muddied with that sort of thing. I hear that he was in the comics, but then again, there's also this other AI called Homer that Tony had, and pretty much they kind of just turned it into Jarvis once the movie started doing it.
Okay, I gotcha.
So the AI thing was around, and so was Jarvis. Like Jarvis was around since he's always been around live action, even when the movies came out for a while. Like that whole the Civil War Jarvis was a full-blooded person. So I mean, yeah. So Jarvis. I'm glad they portrayed Jarvis really well because so it basically makes him worth being turned into an AI years later. Because out of love the Starks had for this guy.
Yeah, no, it's really awesome. And he's just like, he's got this line that kind of, the kind of intro where Peggy's like, oh, well, you don't really, you don't really deal in espionage too much, do you? And he's like, well, quite the contrary. Just last month, I caught the cook pocketing the fancy spoons. So it's like this guy, he's wrapped up in all the insanity about Howard Stark, but at the same time, he's got a very simple life. He mentions now you can call me anytime except after 9 o'clock. What's after 9 o'clock? Me and my wife go to bed.
Now, this fits in with the Jarvis character, too, because Jarvis, when he had a person before he was completely computer. Not that the computer thing was any bad, because we love the AI Jarvis. We love him to pieces. But Jarvis, the guy, he always had kind of this wit that we have with this Jarvis, too. He'd always be really kind of a straight-laced guy. He'd love to talk to the Avengers. He actually had a relationship with Aunt May.
Oh, really? Okay.
Remember, he's older in the comics, too.
Of course. Yeah.
Older. And actually, in some of the tie-in comics to the movie, so these are set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Jarvis, the idea is Jarvis probably died when Tony was like a little over 16, perhaps, or like
sure.
Basically, right before Howard died, Jarvis was around. That's the idea.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
At least, again, they could always retcon it, but that was like in some of the tie-in comics with the movie. So, anyway, so it's a really good representation of Jarvis, and he's just innocent. He's fun, and he's a person, and he's a lovable person. That's perfect Jarvis, right? And he's not. It's like it's different enough from Alfred too. Like this guy's more of a social life, more of a personal.
Absolutely,
life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love the mundane, so this guy was perfect. The illogical logic, okay, well, if your brother, what about your wife? What about your family? Well, he has those, and he has to try to appease them.
Yeah, it really kind of reminds me of... to tell you the truth, this whole show has a couple elements that remind me of Dexter, oddly enough. This one being one of them, that he's got like this loving wife that he's just kind of sneaking out from all the time.
He's gonna be back at 9, so he can get in bed.
Right.
He just one for bedtime
to do these like dangerous sort of like dangerous missions and stuff.
I just love seeing love seeing Jarvis here. He's still trying to work everything in around the clock when he has like an on-the-call job 24/7. And he is nowhere near prepared for this. So he's just Stark did not tell him any of this. We can assume.
Exactly.
So, yeah, Jarvis, you're probably going to rearrange your schedule for the next few months. Like, why? So no, that conversation never happened.
Right.
The point is, we love Jarvis, and he's been introduced, and he's going to be the best part of the show, most likely.
Most likely, yeah. Although I think Peggy Carter herself, like, a rare case of a TV show's main character being easily one of the strongest points of the show, I think.
Well, yeah.
Well, Breaking Bad, yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, we love... It's great we have more than one fantastic character in the show, of course.
Well, yeah. Okay.
So let's over to our next scene here. So we got Sousa.
We got Sousa, and she's kind of speculating with Peggy about what she's talking about.
She's this is a really clever scene. This episode really holds up on the rewatch. She's misdirecting Sousa, saying as he's looking at a picture of Howard Stark on the boat, saying, "I wonder if he's doing anything like over the water." Right. And she's, "Oh no, Howard's definitely afraid of boats. I mean, there's this one time that he tried to make a move on me. I knocked him in the water, took some frogmen to fish him out." Pretty much saying, Howard Stark's afraid of water. He must have hated taking that picture. I mean, I must have really loved the girl to take the picture, like, because he hates the water. So pretty much steering him away from like looking for Howard Stark overseas. Good move.
This is another thing that really reminds me of Dexter, is the whole idea of, like, you know, her kind of like having this secret life in the workplace and having to try and cover it up, misdirect her coworkers, stuff like that. You know, her coworkers like always constantly being on the edge of finding out her secret. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're the
are you
big
getting the same
butcher.
thing?
I really hate that name.
Okay, so what, you hate the Bay Harbor Butcher?
No, I'm saying Dexter said that. He says, I really don't like being called that. He said,
Oh, yeah.
I like the Bay Harbor. It's a cool name.
Season 2 is by far my favorite season for the most part. But,
anyway,
okay.
So then the plot was like she's getting coffee for the boss and Thompson and then Krasinski, and she's eavesdropping on him, and they hear about. Also, she heard this from Sousa too, talking about Spider Raymond.
Mm-hmm.
Spider Raymond is like one of the fences on the list, and he's apparently the most likely. And also, she hears as they speculate. Now the rumor is he likes blondes. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. So they grill Carter. What do you really want here? Why are you here aside from the coffee? He says, well, I wonder if I could leave early, like get a day off, pretty much. He says, well, what for? You have a headache? That and amongst other things, lady things. Just the look of disgust.
Oh, yeah, sure. Take a day off. Go shopping. Whatever makes you feel better.
It's like the scene in The Amazing Spider-Man when Gwen uses the cramps excuse.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
Why can't we just officially connect these things?
Mm-hmm. It'll happen. I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later, but that's a different conversation.
Anyway, what's happening here? So let's hear it.
Okay, so next we get our introduction to Spider Raymond. He's in a meeting in a dance hall talking about Stark's weapons.
Gus Fring's ancestor from the 40s.
Essentially, yeah.
I'm kidding.
Peggy's in disguise. She's got a blonde wig.
Now, can I just say this? I love it when she's in disguise. It's so classic spy, and I love it.
Oh, of course.
Again, a bit of Get Smart in there, too. I love it.
And you gotta love the fact that she's got, like, all these different accents just totally, like, on spot, on point.
In case anyone's curious, she is English in real life, so Peggy Carter is pretty much her natural voice.
Okay.
And so she's really good doing accents. I mean, like Freddie Highmore. Freddie Highmore level great at doing accents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, she does a flawless job. Also, we should mention in the little spider. I've mentioned the deal going on with Spider Raymond.
No, go ahead. You can kind of take some of this more kind of expositional stuff.
Sure. So the Spider Raymond, he's paying the guy who just sold him the formula for the nitramine, Brannis. And Brannis is going to be bigger in the next episode, but Brannis, essentially, he's selling these weapons, and so Brannis is really silent and imposing, and Reggie gets payment, and, Spider's trying to chat him up, but he's not having it, and he just takes payment and leaves.
Sure.
So then Peg walks in looking sublime in her little number she's got going on there, the blonde wig and accent, perfect. And I love the little cool spy move. I love that they kept this plot relevant too. That she turns her head when the camera flashes. Really cool spy move I picked up on the first time. Saying, oh, that's so cool.
Exactly.
They take a picture, she turns her head. That's a classic spy move. So she's gets a pass to go up to see Raymond, and she has her sweet dream lipstick in tow.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so she's flirting. Oh, sorry, you want to take this scene?
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, she comes in. Like you said, she's just she's flirting it up with him. Oh, let's see. She's basically seducing the formula out of him. She's just kind of like, well, I work for. Let's see, what is it? She's like, help me out here.
Well, essentially, she just says, I have a buyer who would be really interested.
Right, yeah.
And pretty much saying, well, I know you. Pretty much trying to get a location on the form, saying, I don't carry that thing on my person. And says, well, how about I search you anyway? And then pretty much then he gets a little too antsy. He kisses her before she can get the information out, and then he gets knocked unconscious from the lipstick.
Right.
And then she's disappointed. Saying, she makes some sort of quip about that being fast.
Yeah, I think she says something to the extent of
Like that
yeah,
was
it's
unsatisfying or something. It says it's better than
some
what I'm
sort of
saying.
some sort of sexual innuendo.
But it was cleverly done. Take my word
Yeah,
for it.
yeah.
It was done. It wasn't just like a cheap one.
Mhm.
Anyway, so then she does something really cool. You and me, I love my gadgets, and this show is right full of them.
Oh yeah.
She uses one of my favorites. She used the lockpick watch. Oh man, I love the lockpick watch. She puts the watch head on the safe, and it basically turns the combination and unlocks it. Really cool. And then we have a
Oh,
shocking reveal. The formula is not in fact a piece of paper, but has been actually weaponized into a bomb. A little formula is within a little orb, which is not
now
good.
now it looks very much. I know it's not an Infinity Stone, but it looks like an Infinity
It's
Stone
not.
a little bit. I know it's not, but can you agree with me that the design is kind of similar?
I'm sorry, I can't agree with you on that. It just looked like kind
Really?
of like a fancy grenade to me. That's what it looked like.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't know where I got that from. Huh?
Well, maybe when they start to diffuse it, then it looks a little more Infinity Stone-ish because it's a little
Sure,
thing.
sure,
Maybe that's
yeah, yeah. Okay,
But I mean, it
okay,
looks like a tube, like an orb.
okay.
Man,
Fair enough.
Marvel
Fair enough.
loves their orbs, don't they? Like Guardians of the Galaxy has a bunch of them.
So yeah, they do. So
What's
Peggy,
happening with Jarvis?
she calls up Jarvis, and she's like, "Get down here right away! I found the weapon." And Jarvis is like, "Well, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm right in the middle of making dinner for my wife." "Well, dinner will have to wait."
But I'm making a souffle. He is. He's making a souffle.
Oh God.
Also, by the way, I just love that. Basically, she says, "Okay, well, tell me how to defuse this thing. The formula is now it's been weaponized. How do I defuse this thing?" And she says, "Okay, one moment." And I love just the idea here, a little bit of foreshadowing to the future of him giving instructions over a comm of some sort.
Oh yeah.
Get it instead of like being a computer Jarvis, it's on the literal guy on the, which he's going to be doing a lot in the future, which I think is hilarious.
Sure.
Pretty much, he's
Yeah,
getting like
he's reading through Stark's notes.
yeah. Essentially, whenever you have like a chemical situation going on, you need base chemicals, like something that turn it non-volatile.
Right.
That's what he's giving her instructions, like use these chemicals, which I don't know where you're going to find, but I'll improvise. Also, important information: do not touch this thing, or you will die, and also don't shake it because it's very volatile. Okay. And she makes her escape. How does she make her escape, Tiki? From the room.
Oh dear God.
Doesn't she need to do some paperwork or something?
3 words: stapler to face. Oh man.
So yeah, she using the stapler. She works it like a nunchucks and knocks the guy out. And ouch!
That is just that is one of the most ridiculously painful things I've ever seen.
Well, it's like kind of the remake of Get Smart. Now I think about it with the whole stapler gag.
Right.
Man, a lot of Get Smart in this show.
I mean, I could totally see it. I could totally see where that comes from and why they'd want to kind of influence by that.
I can't blame him either. It's just like the movie Get Smart, like Rock literally stapled things to Terry Cruz's head.
Right.
So anyway, she makes her escape as the bureau guys, the SSR come in, and they took time to get dressed. They barrel in there, and they get easily made. It's like, wait, you guys are government agents, aren't you? No, we're looking for someone. And then pretty much she dances and escapes into the crowd, dancing with some guy asked her for a dance earlier. And she makes her escape. However, this guy, and this guy is credited as the guy in the green. The guy in the green suit. I call him the Mute because it's kind of a cooler name. So a guy with a blonde guy with a mustache in the green suit, the Mute. Remember?
Right. Yeah.
The Mute kills Spider Raymond after it's found. Like he wakens and the thing's gone. Mute appears, shoots him with silencer. Really, this guy's really cool. This Mute guy, he's really scary. Anyway, he spots Peggy Carter leaving in a cab, so he's tailing her.
Sure. Okay, so next up we got. So he's So Peggy, she walks back into the apartment. Colleen wakes up and she quickly throws off the blonde wig, stashed it in the closet very sloppily.
Did you go out?
Colleen is, she's sick in bed. It's not looking good. Her work sent her home, and man, this is kind of a really cool thing about this, because it's like it's kind of subverting expectations, where it's like, okay, well, she might die here because she is really sick, so I don't know, we're worried about Colleen, but
yeah, I mean, this thing in the back of my head is, I wonder if the tuberculosis thing is going to be. At first, I thought it was like an offhand joke, but then she's coughing, which makes me think, oh man, so it's like going to be a dark payoff of like, she actually does have tuberculosis.
Exactly, yeah.
A little, and I was thinking it's a little on the nose, but I mean, it's kudos. But then they subverted that expectation big time. Anyway, so what's Peg doing in the meantime? Before as Colleen, she's preparing Colleen some tea or something in the meantime. But really, what's she doing?
Well, she's investigating the weapon in the bathroom, kind of taking it apart.
She's diffusing it with the base chemical.
Right, yeah, and then she instantly reaches for a shot of alcohol when she hears someone in the apartment, and rushes out. Finds Colleen shot. Very shocking reveal. Fight with the killer ensues.
Yeah. And she battles the mute, which, by the way, I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but he's been dead for a long while, so I'm not making a joke at his expense. But it looks like evil Howard Ashman, doesn't he?
Oh God! Oh my God! Wow! Yeah, I did not.
He's evil Howard. It looks like evil Howard. He's like evil mute Howard Ashman.
Oh dear. Oh wow! Honestly, in my notes, I just called him Evil Mustache Man.
I mean, if not that, then also maybe he's a bit of like when Jeffrey Jones was thin. The bad guy, the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Like,
right. Oh God.
Ed Rooney.
Oh man.
Anyway, sorry. So the mute escape. Yeah. He gets into a battle with the mute. Really cool. The action was great in this episode. Knocks him out a window, but then he's gone mysteriously. Man, this guy's hard to kill. She also noticed a little Y incision on him, so why he's mute.
Right.
And the mute escapes, and then a really sad ending to our senior Peggy lamenting her dead gal pal. Really sad. Because we spent very little time with Colleen, but it's the idea Peggy had a nice little roommate in the dark about things, and much like some Dexter characters meet an unfortunate end in Dexter's.
That's what I'm saying. There's like Dexter all over this series. Oh God. Okay, so next scene, she's talking to Jarvis at a diner, but she's doing it very unconventionally. She's talking to him back to back.
Yeah, it's a classic spy move.
Yeah, for sure.
We saw him Breaking Bad tons of times.
Of course. Now, this is another very touching scene, kind of puts in motion this whole... I believe it's definitely going to be one of the stronger themes of her character throughout this whole 8 episodes, is the idea that she gets people killed. Like, whoever gets close to her gets offed, and she feels kind of cursed in that way.
I love the line, I lose people closest to me. No, I get them killed. She feels so guilty about this, because, again, relating it to Captain America, really.
Right.
Really poignant bit there. I love that. And just in Jarvis kind of hanging. I think he hands her tissue too in this scene, doesn't he?
He does, and I love that. Yeah,
really sweet. I mean, Peggy Carter's not
such a yeah.
I love how it's not like feminist fuel or anything. It's just like, no, she's crying because she's crying because she's legitimately sad. And Jarvis is being nice. He's handing her because we love Jarvis, and he's the nice guy. And he hands her a little tissue.
Right.
And she says, like, Jarvis has some really heartwarming lines in this. Basically, she says, I mucked up our chance here, helping with a mission that counts. And basically saying, I don't know if this is all worth it. Lost Colleen. God knows how many people are going to lose just helping Howard out here. Jarvis says, in regards to is it worth it? George says, well, we won't know if it's worth it until it's done, until the job's done now, won't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like, where does your wife think you are right now? So she thinks I'm, what excuse did you give your wife? Well, I told her I was attending to one of Mr. Stark's caller, like lady callers, camping out in a mansion. Pretty much like a groupie at a mansion who won't leave. Maybe even an Iron Man homage to like Christine Everhart from the first movie, the reporter girl who was in the mansion. Like he takes people to the mansion a lot, and they just have to be ushered out by a servant.
A little bit, yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe a bit. Okay.
And then Peggy's just like, well, this must happen a lot, right? And then Jarvis is just like, oh, you have no idea.
And then they're talking about, like, back to the mission at hand. They say, okay, well, what are we going to... I think they bring up, like, where are we going to go? They get the hands of the orb, like, the remains of the orb and, like, the based chemical now. So well, we're going to go get this analyzed. I think I know a place. And they go to, probably my favorite part of the episode.
Really?
Well, I'm saying I really love this part.
Okay.
We go to Stark Industries, and we see our good old pal Anton Vanko. Tell me.
Oh, wait. Oh,
yes.
Shit.
Yes.
Oh, shit. Is it Whiplash?
Yeah, it's his father. Remember the old man who died?
Shit.
Yes, it's.
Oh, okay. It totally
remember,
didn't
Tiki,
dawn on me.
Remember Anton Vanko's major accomplishment here. He's the guy who co-invented the arc reactor.
Oh, my God. Okay. Okay, that's totally something that went way over my head.
Okay, now they invent the arc reactor in the 60s, mind you, okay? So they're going to be around working together for a long time now.
Okay.
Anyway, so Anton Vanko, really well played by whichever actor plays this guy. I really liked him. I want to see more of this guy. Vanko basically kind of being Mr. Exposition here, he analyzes the bomb, and he mentions like this the Roxanne Oil Company. He points them to the Roxanne Oil Company looking at the thing. I forget how exactly, but he says there are low levels of Vita rays on this. And then, of course, Peggy is cut off because she knows what Vita rays are. If you pay close attention to like the birth of Captain America, you'll notice Vita rays all over the place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So then she's going to the Project Rebirth files, which is, in fact, the birth of Captain America.
Oh, yeah. Very touching scene here, and then, let's see. And then
it was really nice about.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it was really nice about this scene is that it's literally how we end Captain America. Now it's picked up right after that. You know, remember the ending shot of Captain America with her. She's looking at the picture of Steve, and she puts the file.
Yeah, for sure.
She put the file away. Now she's opening it back up again.
Mm-hmm. So Sousa walks in. You know, the two kind of share a tender moment. Sousa kind of he relates his post-war experiences to her.
Mentions like he can relate to like the nostalgia for the old times. Like I wanted to bring my socks to my father, but they cleared out my footlocker, and the other thing I can't find is my leg.
Right.
I can't find my leg anywhere. It's a little joke. I love Sousa, I really do. He's a nice guy.
No, yeah, for sure. Like I said, I do enjoy the dynamic that they have where it's like, obviously Peggy and him have chemistry, but Peggy's got, it's like there's just a lot of tension there because of the whole threat of him uncovering that she's working for Howard and everything like that. So, Okay, so next, we've got the evil Howard Ashman mustache guy.
Okay, let's just call him the Mute Man. The Mute Man's a little catchier. The Mute, or just the Mute. So the Mute again. I don't want to dishonor Howard Ashman. I'm kind of regretting.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I guess he looks. Look, to be fair, he actually looks more like the Jeffrey Jones, like Ed Rooney from Ferris Bueller's Day Off than Howard Ashman. Anyway. So the Mute, he's on his typewriter, and this really cool thing Hydra has worked out. It's not Hydra. At least we don't know it's Hydra. They have a different name, it's Leviathan. But the Mute is on his typewriter. He's getting a message from Leviathan, pretty much telling him he has permission to kill Peggy Carter because she's getting in the way of the operations.
Right. And he's controlling the typewriter telepathically.
No. What do you mean telepathy? Where are you getting telepathy? No. Here's what happens, Stevie. He types in what he wants to send to them, and then it's basically the internet back in the 40s. That's how advanced these guys are.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, shit. Okay, I was totally misinterpreting it differently.
It's
I
like
literally thought he was controlling the keys with his mind.
No, that's them sending him a message. It's really cool looking.
Oh, okay.
By the way, apparently may have been stolen. may have been stolen from Fringe. I don't watch that show, but I hear them always talking. I heard people mentioning the typewriter biz in Fringe.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, so next we have Peggy and Jarvis pulling up.
Roxanne Oil Company.
Yeah, and they're and so let's see.
Another Iron Man reference, by the way, Roxanne.
Oh yeah. So Peggy, she's sneaking around the lab.
She tells Jarvis to stay in the car.
She does.
Well, Jarvis wants to help out, but right now he's not that much help, apparently.
Well, Jarvis kind of has an interesting arc, where he goes from, like, kind of... I mean, he never openly comes across like he doesn't want to have anything to do with it, but, it's obvious this is very much an inconvenience to him. Yeah. But then at the end of the day, he's coming around, he wants to be involved.
Yeah, like Jarvis, I want to make the stretch here that Alfred has war experience. Like he's been in the battlefield. I don't get a sense Jarvis has ever been in a battlefield or anything. I think he's just really helpful, and Howard likes him.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Okay. So
she uses the Vita-Ray meter, the little Vita-Ray detector, to basically trace where the rest of the bombs are.
Mm-hmm. And then
and Jarvis is filling with the radio with the really long antenna. Brannis is Brannis and this guy Van Ert, I think his name is, another guy. They're working on they're working on they're finishing touches of the chemicals and getting ready to be shipped and stuff.
And Jarvis, he sees a truck leave, right?
Yeah. Jarvis sees a milk truck, and then the milk. We find out the milk truck is what these guys are loading the bombs onto. Also.
Oh yeah.
And then we find out like the Brannis can only talk with this weird, scary voice box. They've all had their vocal. It's like, think of it, it's the ultimate interrogation technique. They have their voice boxes taken out so they can't talk.
Yeah, you're right. That is like the ultimate interrogation technique.
So pretty much, he uses this little voice box thing to talk, basically saying, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead a little. Brannis says, Van Ernst says to Brannis as he's like finishing, I'm kind of bringing some rules here. You can always smile for me with being happy with what I'm doing. Then Peggy Carter, she used like a flash bang device on Van Ernst.
I think that's a really cool device.
Oh yeah, it is big time, and that's very important too that he doesn't see her.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
He's blinded right there for a moment, and then as Peggy Carter is like, it's a really cool scene. It's kind of a Red Skull on the catwalk-ish scene too.
True.
She has a gun trained on him, and he's holding a volatile chemical bowl in his hand, along with the whole rack of them behind him in the truck. Mm-hmm. And Brannis pulls out the voice box, and that was such a cool reveal. And he's like saying, like, a Leviathan's coming. Pretty much saying you make these bombs. As no, I just sell these bombs, pretty much. So he's betraying Leviathan. We see here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then he says, you could shoot us, but then you'd kill us all.
Right.
And pretty much says you have 30 seconds as he tosses one of the nitramine orbs that's about to go off in 30 seconds. 30 seconds to get out of there before a bomb blast they can take out a whole avenue is about to go off.
Oh yeah, and so I just love this kind of like little interplay between Peggy and Jarvis as she's running for the car. She's just like, Jarvis, pull around. Jarvis is just like, well, where do you want me? Just look for me. Well, can you be more specific? No.
And then he's barreling them. People are shooting at him. People are shooting at me.
I love that delivery. Do you know I am being shot at?
Yep, and pretty much they make a narrow escape. Then literally the bomb goes off, and it's like a huge explosion. And it's basically they're racing at it in the really nice car. The bumper gets taken off. Then pretty much it's an implosion effect. So after everything is decimated, then all the remains retract into this giant ball.
Oh yeah.
So they've escaped by the skin of their teeth, losing the bumper. Very important they lost that bumper.
Sure.
And they're just kind of looking at the end result, and oh my god, it's an implosion. Look at that thing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So then, meanwhile, the men, they're speculating on this mystery blonde as they got the camera, saying, maybe she's behind Spider Raymond's death, or she knows something about it.
Mm-hmm. And so meanwhile, we have Piggy and Jarvis back at the diner.
And Jarvis swiped a milk bottle, so he knows what the company is to look for next. Good on Jarvis.
Mm-hmm. And Jarvis it's safe to say he won't sleep in days.
Because he's excited. He's excited to be part of this world.
Which, again, I love that kind of story arc with him throughout the course of this episode.
And now they have a name for the organization, Leviathan, so they got to lead the chase. I'll see what I can turn up, Jarvis says. And I'm going to have to get used to keeping secrets from my wife. You'll get used to it.
Again, Dexter.
Well, hopefully it's not going to have an unfortunate end like that one.
Oh dear, I hope not. I hope not.
Well, I mean for the character.
Right.
Anyways, meanwhile, Peggy Carter. then we get the best part, probably the best scene in the episode. I don't know. This one might actually be the best scene.
I think Peggy has 3 really kick-ass moments here. Of course, one being the stapler to the face, the other one being, I really thought that blinding light gun was awesome, and then this, of course, is the third really awesome moment here.
So again, the pig POW guy who keeps saying, "Oh, I was in a POW camp." When he says the Nazis fed me better than this, that guy, he
is just doing everything he can to make sure that waitress just feels like crap about herself.
Yeah, Angie didn't do it. Angie's been really nice. She hates this guy. Right. She's giving him good service too. So the point is that Peggy, after he knows that Angie's getting berated, and then slapped on the fanny. Not cool. She gets slapped on the fanny, and then she comes over there and pretty much is like she's about to leave, and she grabs a fork and sneaks up behind him, puts it next to an artery under his ribcage or something, and says, what I could do right now, I could stab you right here and then penetrate an artery, and what that do, you'd be bleeding out in 90 seconds. Now there's a slim chance you could survive, and that's assuming the kind waitress over there calls for medical attention immediately, and given how you're treating her, I don't think that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I suggest you find a new place to eat, a new eater, never come back here again, and also tip generously.
Oh, that's
Are we understood?
Great.
Nods yes in fear. She leaves. He tips, throwing a lot of cash. And then Peggy Carter leaves, and she's happy. She has new purpose in her life, and things are working out. I'm going to take charge. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then this is important. This is important for our next episode speculation.
There's treachery afoot.
Yeah, Jarvis has a few secrets of his own, not from his wife. He's talking to Howard Stark. He's saying, "Yes, sir. The thing mentions the car or something, like the car is fine."
Mm. That's also going to come back next episode.
Oh yeah, and then pretty much he says, "Oh yes, sir. I think she's an excellent choice. No suspicion at all." Bum bum bum.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, so really strong episode.
Yeah, that'll do it for episode 1 of Agent Carter, entitled "Now Is Not the End." Ooh. All right, overall thoughts.
Again, really good. Even the title sounds good. It says "Now Is Not the End." It's just like Peggy being shaken from apathy now. It's just like now she has new purpose with that title.
Oh, sure, definitely.
So again, I was just blown away. It took basically the best way I could sell this as, and the way I sold it to you, in fact, was saying that it's 6 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes. It would take basically 6 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes condensed into 1 hour. I'm saying in terms of pacing. In terms of pacing, it would take
exactly
6 episodes to get this much development. We got so many stories and so many great scenes in here, and the plot moved along like that. The pacing was amazing in this episode. That's the best thing I can say about it. And the characters.
Oh yeah, very much.
Characterization. So. It looked pretty much what I think the big benefit of the show is. I'm just guessing. Is that because they're a miniseries, because they're only 8 episodes, they have a bigger budget, and they get the actors from the movie.
Very true.
Get them involved in this. They maybe plus you're getting the talent from the movies. They have a lot of benefits going into this. So I think it's really paying off in terms of the caliber of storytelling, how it visually looks, and how the effects budget too. They don't have a lot of effects. It's set in the 40s, but when they do have effects, it looks great.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. For sure.
A lot of money's going into the sets, and once that's done, it's relying on the actors, and it's paying off.
And also just the cinematography in general, the cinematography, the art direction, the color scheme. It's all very professional looking. It's all very movie quality for sure.
It's like it feels like it's a Marvel movie on the small screen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like really in terms of budget and everything, in terms of just how good it looks, it really doesn't look that different from any other cinematic universe movie we'd see.
I'll tell you one thing: if this is just a mini series that's on television for Marvel, it makes me really excited for what they're going to do with Daredevil on Netflix.
It really does. It really does. Yeah,
it really jazzed me up.
Right. You're absolutely right. It gives me new hope for Daredevil.
I'll tell you what I really hope they're going to do. I hope that one of the next promos they do for like at the end of this episode, they did Ant-Man was this one this go around. Like this, Ant-Man was at the end of the Peggy Carter premiere. I'm hoping like one of these premieres is like a full trailer for Daredevil.
That could be for sure.
This show is so good. How can you not watch it? Really.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so we are sealing up the box for now. Like that, because it needs to look like an old-fashioned box. Yeah, I failed. We're sealing up the box for now, at least until next time, when we continue assessing Agent Carter.
Tune in next time, fellow Patriot spies alike, as we continue the further adventures of Agent Carter.
You know we're being shot at.